श्रीमान वेंकटनाथार्य कवितार्किक केसरी वेदांताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि श्रीवासरंग परकाल मुनित्रयाप्त लक्ष्मात्मरक्षणयुगागमान्तम् आचार्य भक्ति परिभूत मनर्गशीलं गोपालदेशिक मुनिं गुरुमाश्रयामः व्यासं वसिष्ठ नप्तारं शक्ते पौत्रमकल्मषं पराशरात्मजं वन्दे सुखतातं तपोनिधिं व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः. Vishnu Sahasranama is the most powerful and it grants us lot of benefits. The recital of Vishnu Sahasranama, the chanting of Vishnu Sahasranama regularly if we do in our house, it kind of becomes a protective kavacham, shield for all the members of the house, for everyone in the house. It creates a positive vibe, positive aura. The chanting of Vishnu Sahasranam brings immeasurable, infinite benefits to the person, the listener's life as well. It completely rids us, frees, it completely removes the poverty, the disease, mupu, pini, tunbam, pashi. So the old age, the fear of birth and death, the fear of disease, janma, mrityu, jara, vyadi, bhayam naivo pajayate, all that fear will go away. Just listening to Vishnu Sahasranam removes anxiety and any unfavorable karma that we have accrued. Chanting without even knowing the meaning itself is beneficial. It can help overcome the negative astrological influence because of the planetary positions. It creates spiritual growth. It gives knowledge about our Atma. It gives us mental clarity. It promotes mental focus. The act of chanting or listening calms the mind. It completely alleviates, reduces our stress, mental stress, and it gives us inner calmness, the shanti, the peace. It gives us a balance, an emotional balance. The chanting of Vishnu Namas carry vibration that are said to give lot of benefits, and it is all proven. It's not even just for the sake exaggerating. It's not exaggeration. The 1,000 names is believed to offer numerous benefits. So regularly recitation is thought to purify the mind, reduces stress, reduces anxiety, gives us good luck, success, prosperity, and also takes us to the upper world. So anyway, without much ado, let's listen to the next sloka today, which is 95th slokam. So here, the 95th slokam, Anantahuta Bhokta Sukadho Naikado Grajaha Anirvinna Sadhamarishi Lokadishtanam Adbhutaha. So, Ananta Hutabuk Bhokta, the one-liner, let's enjoy first and then go into the deeper meanings. Ananta Hutabuk Bhokta, he is the one who is the indweller of Devendra and Chaturmukha Brahma, the four-faced Brahma, the creator. Sukadaha, he is the granter, the giver of Anandam, Sukham, to his Bhaktas, the bliss to the Bhaktas. Naikadaha. So, Sukadaha, Naikadaha mean he is the granter or the giver of many things, not just bliss, material, Aishwaryam, Arogyam, everything. Agrajaha, he who manifests in front of the Muktas, in front of the Nityasuris in Sri Vaikuntham. Anirvinnaha, Anirvinnaha, he who is not tired of fulfilling the desires of his devotees. He never ever gets tired of fulfilling our desires, our wishes. Anirvinna Sadamarshi. Sadamarshi, he means he is always patient. Porumai. With the devotees. With the follies of the devotees. With the defects of the devotees. Lokadishtanam. He is the supporter of all the worlds. Adbhutaha. He is an adbhutan, most wonderful. Most extremely wonderful. Mysterious. So that's the Slokam 95. Ananto hutabhuktaha sukadho naikado grajaha anirvinna sadamarishi lokadishtanam adbhutaha. Like Sri Parasara Bhattar interpreted this nama as representing the last two steps of the Archiradi Margam which we saw in the last Slokam. So he who is the Indra and Brahma of immeasurable greatness. He who is endless. He who consumes the offering, the sacrifices in the fire, in the yagam, in the yajnam. Two different meanings for the Ananta Hutabhukta. So Parasara Bhattar interprets that he is the last two steps of the Archiradi Margam. The Margam that the Jivatma takes when he attains Sri Vaikuntham. And the last two steps are the Indra and Brahma escort the Jiva to the final two steps in the ascent of the Jivatma to Paramapadam through the Archiradi Margam. And Sri Shankaracharya mentions in this so beautifully that Ananta Hutabhuktaha. He says the Nama Ananta also occurs in Sloka 70, Nama 665. So here it has to be studied from that context. Ananta Hutabhukta means one who is the endless. Anantaha. There is no end. Endless. And he is the one who consumes the offerings through the sacrifices. Anantaha, the infinite. Anantaya Namaha, infinite, one who is not limited. And Hutabhuk, the protector of the sacrifice, the consumer of the offerings in a sacrifice. Here, Shankaracharya mentions that this particular Nama is one who protects the sacrifice. In fact, Yasya Smrityacha Namoktya Topyaga Kritadishu Nyunam Samputatmanam Yati Satyo Vandeham Achyutam. So for the instance of the Nama in Sloka 94, Swami mentions he who consumes the sacrifice, he who consumes the offerings in the yajna. Here, when offerings are made to different devatas in a sacrifice, Agni first receives it and then passes it on to the respective devatas. But all the deities ultimately offer these to Bhagavan Vishnu, who is the Antaryami, who is the indweller, who is the ultimate receiver of the offerings. Ananta Hutabhuktaha, the enjoyer of all offerings made by devotees with love. He is the enjoyer of all offerings made in all sacrifices. He is the enjoyer of all offerings made to the Pitrulokam, Pitrus. He who consumes everything in the Pralayam. Whether it is Agni or Surya or Kala, everything he consumes, retains in his stomach. So here Bhokta. In fact, Sri Parasara Bhattar interprets Bhagavan as the enjoyer of things offered by his devotees with love. He refers to Lord Krishna's words in the Bhagavad Gita. Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati. In Nama 145, Parasara Bhattar mentions this. So if a devotee offers to me as a mere loaf, a tulasi leaf, a flower, a fruit, a banana, or a water with sincere bhakti and love, even the tear that I'm not able to offer anything other than my tear, I accept it as an invaluable treasure, Krishna says. And Parasara Bhattacharya explained that Bhagavan is Bhokta, since he is the ultimate recipient and enjoyer of all sacrificial offerings, irrespective of the devotee offering to the deity. Whatever the devotee offers to whichever deity, it is all going to Krishna. Sri Krishna himself mentions in Bhagavad Gita, 5th chapter, 29th Slokam, Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvalokam maheshwaram suhritam sarvabhutanam jnatvamam santimichati. So, knowing me as the enjoyer of all sacrifice and austerities, as the supreme lord of all the worlds, as a friend of every being, as a suhrit, a friend of every being, one attains peace. Bhagavan also declared in Sloka 9.24 in Bhagavad Gita, Ahamgi sarva yijnanam bhokta cha prabhurevacha natumam abhijnananti tatvena ata shavantite. So here, I am the only enjoyer and the only Lord of all sacrifices in yajna. They, the ordinary people, do not recognize me, my true nature. Hence, they fall. They don't realize that I am the ultimate recipient of all their yajna. They don't get to know. So, Ananta Hutapuktaha, so beautifully here Acharyas enjoy. He for whom Brahma and Kshatra, the movables and the immovables, both become food. Kathopanishad says. So here Ananta Kuta Bhokta Sukadaha, he is the giver of bliss to his devotees, remover of happiness for the wicked. For the evil, he removes the happiness. For the devotees, he gives anandam, the bliss. Sukadaha. He is the remover of tiny pleasures from his devotees, so that they can seek the higher bliss. So when the devotees want alpa aishwaryam, alpa promotion, they don't get generally. Most of the ardent devotees are not that rich, because Krishna wants him, the sincere devotees, to attain the higher bliss, the Paramapadam, the Paramanandam himself, and not be lured and attracted and tempted by the tiny pleasures of the lower riches, which is alpam, which is transitory. So he removes the unhappiness for his devotees. Asukadaha, also it means he who is the source of water for all beings. Sukam, Udakam, water. He who has given a beautiful body to the jivas for them to enjoy the worldly pleasures. There are several interpretations of this meaning. See, Parasara Bhattacharya interpretation in Slokam 49, Nama 460, he says this Nama indicated Bhagavan guna of bestowing bliss on those who followed the Sadacharam, who follows the dharmic karma. It should be remembered that Sukha, that is bestowed by Bhagavan, in addition to including the ordinary pleasures of life, the Perimbam, supreme bliss, the moksham, which he alone can grant. So, for the current Nama, Parasara Bhattacharya continues like at the ascent of the attaining Jivatma to Paramapadam, and interprets that Amanava Mukhena Sprashtva Sa Vasanam, here all that So, swapti sukam dadati iti sukadaha. Once jiva reaches the final step, Bhagavan removes the last traces of contact of the jivatma with this prakriti, with this material world, along with the associated latent impressions, and grants absolute bliss on the jivatma, so that he is called Sukadaha. The touch by the Amanava Purusha, removes all traces of association of the jivatma with the samsara, and thus purified, the jiva is led to Paramatma. Sri Parasara Bhattar mentions from Chandogya Upanishad, Tat Purushaha Amanavaha Sa Enan Brahma Gamayati Yesha Devayanaha Panta Iti. From there, through the moon, Vidyut, lightning, the Amanava, the superhuman, takes the jiva to Parabrahman. This is known as the path of the gods, says Chandogya Upanishad. Sri Shankaracharya gives two different alternate interpretations for Sukadaha. He who bestows happiness on the righteous one, on the dharmic people. Sukam dadati iti Sukadaha. Sukam dhyati iti Sukadaha. Also he who removes the wicked of their happiness. Two different interpretations. Naikadaha means the giver of many things. Literally, he is not the giver of not just one thing. He gives many things. That's one meaning. Other meaning, he who is not born just once, but very many times. Naika Jaha. Naika Daha is one school of thought. Another one, Naika Jaha, means very many times he is born. So, Naika Daya Namaha. This Nama Parasara Bhattar continues its interpretation based on the reception accorded to the Mukta Jivatma while he is arriving at Sri Vaikuntha. He explains that those who give only one thing are called Ekadaha. Naikadaha means those who not just give one thing but many things. The context is the receipt by the Devatas on the way to the Mukta Jivatma as he ascends the Paramapadam. Bhagavan has thousands of Devatas as his attendants who are well versed in the art of giving the reception, a honorary reception to the Mukta Jivatmas, and bestow countless garlands, clothes as the Jivatma arrives. It is referred in the Kaushitaki Upanishad. Tampancha Shatani Apsarahasaha Upadavanti Satam Malahastaha Satam Ajnanahastaha Tam Brahmalang Alankarena Alankurvanti. There are very many hundreds of apsaras, the divine damsels, rush forth to receive the Muktatma. 100 of them have garlands in their hands to honor the Jivatma. Another 100 have scented perfumes and ointments in their hands to decorate the Jivatma. They decorate him with adornments of the Brahman himself by giving Shankha Chakra to the Jivatma in Sri Vaikuntham. Every Muktatma has Shankha Chakra probably there. So, Shankaracharya mentions this as Naika Jaha, one who is not born just once, but many births for protecting the Dharma. Paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. 4th chapter 8th Slokam in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna mentioned, for the protection of the good and also for the destruction of the evil and for the establishment of Dharma, I am born again and again. But this birth referred to his avatarams, out of his own sankalpa, out of his own free will. It is not bound by karma. He doesn't take like us the blood, born and full of full of prakriti, triguna sambandham, dirty body, the five senses, nothing of that sort. So here, so beautifully, here the Acharyas explains that he is born many times through his incarnations. Even the Acharyas are his amsam. The Rishis are his amsam. Agrajaha, next meaning. He who manifests in front of the Muktatmas. Agra means front, first. Agrajaha, one who is born first or existed before everything. Sri Parasara Bhattar mentions that one who came forward, Vandu avar edirkolla. Namalvar mentioned that he himself would come and honor the Jivatma by himself coming at the doorstep of Sri Vaikuntham to receive the Jivatma. Bhagavan coming forward or manifesting himself along with Sri or Mahalakshmi to welcome the Mukta Jivatma on his arrival at Sri Vaikuntham. His words are Yevam Praptanam Muktanam Agre Saha Sarveshwarya Shriya Yata Paryanka Vidyam Parama Bhogyo Jayate Iti Agrajaha. It is described in the Kaushitaki Upanishad. The Mukta comes near the dazzlingly lustrous couch, the Adisheshan. The Supreme Brahman is seated on it with Lakshmi beside him and the celestial attendants around him. The Mukta who has meditated on the Lord thus realizes him, the Paramapadanathan, in this manner and climbs on the couch, the Adisheshan. The Supreme Brahman inquires about the Muktatma, and the Muktatma acquires the Jnanam completely, the knowledge that the Supreme Brahman has. He also enjoys the Peranandam, the Paramanandam, the absolute bliss that is that of Brahman. Sri Shankaracharya says, Agre Jayata iti Agrajaha, the firstborn is he. Anirvinnaha, he who is not despondent that the jivas are not resorting to him for redemption. He who is relieved of worry after having liberated a jiva who becomes a mukta. Anirvinnaha, he who is not depressed because he has nothing to wish for. He who is not tired of fulfilling the wishes and dreams and the desires of his devotees. Anirvinnaha. Here, Parasara Bhattar mentions that he is never relieved. He is never concerned. Because once the Jivatma attains Sri Vaikuntham, he is relieved. He is not concerned anymore. Devoid of concern. Is a continuation of his interpretation of the Archiradi Margam that the Jivatma takes to Sri Vaikuntham. Sri Parasara Bhatta said, Bhagavan is at last relieved that his devotee has attained him, his abode, arrived safely in Sri Vaikuntham, united with him. Until this time, this jiva was an object of compassion for Bhagavan. He kept worrying about this, whether the jivatma will use his life to become free of his karma and move towards the Lord. Now that he has become a muktatma, a released soul in Paramapadam, Bhagavan does not have any more worry about this jivatma. Anirvinnaha. Sri Parasara Bhattar gives the example of how relieved Lord Rama was once he performed Vibhishana Pattabhishekam even before crossing the ocean as the king of Lanka. He had given his word to Vibhishana to crown him as the king of Lanka. And until the time of coronation of Vibhishana, after Ravana's demise, now Lord Rama felt that he had a word that he still had to fulfill. After the Vibhishana Pattabhishekam, in toto, he felt relieved as one who had fulfilled his duty as Kritakritya. Kritakrityastada Ramo. Vijwaraha Pramumodaha. Balakandam 1.85, first Sargam, 85th Slokam. Even the very first Pasuram of Thiruvaimozhi. Thaiyar Shudaradi. Emperuman Thaiyar Shuda, the lotus feet that becomes free of sorrow. No more sorrow. He had blessed the Alvar with Mayarvara Madinalam, the intense jnana and bhakti that are free from any flaws or any deficiency. Sri Shankaracharya mentions this as Bhagavan is not depressed, anirvinna, because he has nothing to be concerned or worried or depressed about. He has all the desires fulfilled. He has nothing more to attain. He is avapta sarva kamatvat, aprapta hetya bhavat, nirvedaha asyana vidyata iti anirvinnaha, avapta sarva kamatvat, aprapta hetya bhavat, nirvedaha asyana vidyata iti anirvinnaha. He has got nothing to be depressed about. He has got all desires fulfilled. He has nothing more to attain. Even Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter, 22nd slokam, he says, Name partha asti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana nanavaptam avaptavyam varta yevacha karmani. For me, Arjuna, there is nothing in this world which needs to be done, because there is nothing not acquired that ought to be acquired for me. Yet, I still work, I go on working. Bhagavan never gets tired of fulfilling the desires of his devotees. So he is anirvinnaha. He who does not get exhausted, negligent, lazy in following the devotee's desire. He says, how many people come, how many times, oh my God, I'm exhausted. Never ever. He is always happy to give. உமது அடிகள் அடைகின்றேன் என்று ஒரு கால் உரைத்தவரை தமது அனைத்தும் அவர் தமக்கு வழங்கியும் தாம் மிக விளங்கும். Swami Desikan mentions in Adaikalappatte. Sri Parasara Bhattar here mentions so beautifully, it is that the Perumal has got no more concern once the Jivatma attains Sri Vaikuntham. Sada Marshi, one who is ever patient, one who is patient towards the mistakes of good people. Sat A Marshi, one who is extremely impatient toward the wicked people. Sada Amarshi. So, Parasara Bhattar continues about the arrival of Mukta Jivatma. He enjoys the Nama in terms of Bhagavan's trait, his quality of helping the Mukta Jivatma in performing eternal blemishless Kainkaryam. Vazhuvil Kalamellam Udanai Manni Vazhuvila Adime Seyya Vendum Nam. Once he is in Sri Vaikuntham, the patience aspect comes in since Bhagavan patiently accepts with pleasure all Kainkaryam offered to him by the Mukta Jivatma. Whatever the Kainkaryam the Mukta wishes to perform to Bhagavan, out of his intense love, bhakti, he accepts it with a sweet disposition, smile, even if it is not a Kainkaryam that he needs. How many people are going to fan me? I am getting cold. He will never say. He enjoys whatever be the Kainkaryam. Utrain ugandu pani செய்து உனபாதம் பெற்றேன் ஈடே இன்னம் வேண்டுவது என்றாய். This is what I want, Nammalvar says in 10.8.10. O Lord, it was given to me to enjoy your lotus feet. The Kainkaryam, in this case, the singing of Thiruvaimozhi by Alvar, was performed with an enthusiasm that led to the enjoyment of your lotus feet. This enjoyment of divine feet is what I would request all the time, nothing else. Sri Shankaracharya mentions, he who always forgives. Shankaracharya says, Sat A Marshi, referring to the good people. The prefix A, when it is added to Marshi, Amarshi. So, he is patient towards good people. Sat A Marshi. He is who is extremely impatient toward the wicked people. Sada Amarshi. Then we have Lokadishtanam Adbhutaha. He is the supporter of all the worlds. Supporter. Parasara Bhattar refers to Bhagavan being the supporter of the world that the Mukta Jivatma enjoys in Paramapadam. He is the supporter of the Paramapadam itself. And Shankaracharya mentioned that he is the supporter, the three worlds rest in him as support, even though he himself needs no support. Also, it can mean the Kurma Avataram and Varaha Avataram in the form of and in the form of Adishesha, he is the supporter for the world. Adbhutaha, he who is extremely Adbhutan, Atyadbhutan, most wonderful. He who makes appearances occasionally amongst us. He because of whom the grains, the food exist. Parasara Bhattar mentioned that this Nama as insatiable. He is always delightful to enjoy, no matter how much we have enjoyed him, because he is Ara Amudan. We will never ever get satisfied with him, enjoying him. He is insatiable nectar. He is Ara Amudan. So, he is a source of wonder always, as if we have not seen Appalde Kappalda Ara Amud. Sarvada, Sarvaihi, Sarvata, Anubhavepi, Apurvavat Ati, Vishmaniyaha. He is always, every time he looks fresh, he looks new, he looks grand, as if we have not seen before. Innarendra Ariyen, Anne, Ariyodum, Ponnar, Shangam, Udaya, Adigalai, Innarendra Ariyen, Periya Tirumizhi, Thirumangai Alvar says, my mother, I don't know, I am unable to identify him. He has the divine chakra in his hand and the golden hued bow by name Sargam. I just cannot define him. He is so blissful. Arpudan Narayanan, Ari Vamanan, Nirpadu Mevi, Irupadu Yen Nenjagam, Thiruvaimozhi, 8th decade, 8.6.10, 8th centum, 6th decade, 10th Pasuram. Arpudan Narayanan, Ari Vamanan, Nirpadu Mevi, Irupadu Yen Nenjagam, Lord Narayana who delights in performing wonderful acts, Adbhutan, Adbhuta Cheshtidangalai Udaya Yennappan. What are the Adbhuta Cheshtidam? His wonderful acts. He helps not only his devotees, but also his enemies. He takes avatarams, all kinds of forms, like a boar, like a tortoise, anything, to make sure he helps his bhaktas, make sure he gives us delight beyond measure when he gets to enjoy him. He comes as a dwarf Vamana and then becomes a huge Trivikrama while he stands spreading over all the worlds with his foot. Adbhuta Cheshtitangal. Sri Shankaracharya gives support from the Upanishad and Bhagavad Gita. Kathopanishad. It says the Supreme Self is such that he is not gained by many, attained by many, known by many, for the mere hearing and not known by many, even while listening. Very rarely people understand his true nature. Rare also is he who knows him under the instruction of an Acharya. Kathopanishad says. In Bhagavad Gita, he says in 2.29, Ascharyavat, Pashyati, Kaschidenam, Ascharyavat, Vadati, Tataiva Chanyaha, Ascharyavat Chainam, Anyaha Shrunoti, Shrutvaapyenam, Vadacha, Chaiva Kaschit. One who looks upon this as a wonder. Likewise, another speaks of it as a wonder. Another listens to it as a wonder. Even hearing of it, one does not know it. So that everything attains the same meaning. He is the most wonderful. Adiyan, Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamastu. Kavitarkika Simhaya Kalyana Gunashaline. Srimate Venkateshaya Vedanta Gurave Namaha. Dhanyosmi.